McDonald's, In-N-Out, and Chipotle are among several companies that are part of that Yum brand that are spending millions of dollars to not give their workers pay raises.
Oh,
I feel it's Thrive Thursday. I feel like something's going on, and I'm spitballing. I don't know this to be true, but when I saw Apple lay off, and I know for a fact Apple has more cash on hand than any company in the history of companies. Like, it is known for its cash on hand. I was like, why is Apple laying off? And I also know all of these tech companies had record profits during the pandemic, and they got that PPP money, they got that free money. And so they went on a hiring spree. But I also know that they're run by people that understand economics, right? They understand business. So they had to know the pandemic wasn't going to last forever. So they wouldn't have hired all those people if they didn't know that they could keep them. I believe, Seena Ghaznavi, that there's a conspiracy among corporations in league with the government to lay off massively, to create this fear, to create this lack. And then in the spring, they're going to hire people back with the stipulation that they have to come into the office. I feel like this is that move.
That seems like a lot of thought and planning. And there's a couple things there. I think it's just greed. Google laid off 12,000 people. They print money over there. They didn't need to fire anyone. But there's a belt tightening that's happening across the economy right now. Everyone's doing it. It seems like they had FOMO, so they're like, let's cut 12,000 people. By the way they did it at Google was especially awful. They just deleted everyone's email and everything and then told them that they were fired.
So people couldn't log in.
Exactly. I had friends that this happened to. And normally you say, hey, come into HR. You have the conversation. Here's your severance package. And then you do all that stuff, right? So there's like or you give people a week to say goodbye, wrap up projects. Everyone was cut. And you know what happened that same day? Google's stock price popped 5%.
Yeah, that's what so this is why I know. Okay, this is the largest layoffs in 25 years. So we're talking about the housing market crash and all. They didn't lay off this many people. They just had record profits this last couple of years. So that's why I feel like the conspiracy is larger. But the CEO, Sundar, how do you say his last name? Pichai? P-I-C-H, Pichai?
I think it's Pichai.
Like chai tea. So, which means tea. Chai means, so he's a pity tea person.
Exactly.
Pichai. He had this animated town hall to address what you just talked about when he told employees. He also at this meeting told employee executives that they're going to see their bonuses cut as well. So they did laid off and then they're cutting bonuses. And he pled with the staffers to remain motivated as Google faces heightened competition in areas like artificial intelligence, which I want to talk with you about today as well. And he said, I understand you're worried about what comes next for your work. He said, also very sad for the loss of some really good colleagues across the company. For those of you outside the U.S., the delay in being able to make make and communicate decisions about roles in your region is undoubtedly causing anxiety. And he was like, it's basically not my fault. He said that 2021 marked one of the strongest years we've ever had in the history of the company. Yes, we know that. 41% revenue growth. Seena, 41% revenue growth. This is the company that owns YouTube. It has 1 billion plus people on that platform. It got a 41% revenue growth in 2021. What are we doing here?
It's greed. I'll tell you one thing. The only person that did this whole firing thing right was Tim Cook, because he took a 50% pay cut. And it's like 50% on like $1 trillion. I don't know what it is. It was so absurd number. It's like he's only making like, I don't know, 30 million or 40 million now per year. But he took a 50% pay cut. And that saved a few thousand jobs probably, or a couple thousand jobs, that matters. I think seeing that in a CEO goes a long way when these other guys are just getting paid whatever,
And on that note, this is not at all but I don't actually stick to a script. So I was thinking about Tim Cook this morning when I was walking, because there's like a lot of conversation around the LGBTQ community and whether or not they're pressed upon, and I'm like, Tim Cook is gay. I was like, I don't think there's a gay backlash, because there's room for Geffen, Tim Cook, Harvey Weinstein. No, I'm just playing. A bunch of people, allegedly. I know it's a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying, that are in powerful positions, Microsoft, but that who are gay. It's not that. I think it's racial. But that's another story. So I just put that because I was like, America doesn't have a problem with gay people. Y'all do all the time. Business is being done at the highest level with people who are gay, and nobody has a problem with it. We're not even talking about Hollywood.
Doesn't that go back to the kind of central concept of like, sexuality you can pass, it's not written on your face kind of thing. Race is.
I mean, but Tim Cook is outwardly gay, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying like if you just saw him in a lineup, you didn't know who Tim Cook was, you wouldn't be like, oh, that man is gay. But if there was a black man next to Tim Cook, you'd be like, that man's black. But you'd be like, that's I think the fundamental. But I would agree with this point. I just don't know how it plays out.
I was just thinking about, because there's like a lot of stories. Actually, there's this whole trans organization. This is funny. I was gonna save it for tomorrow, but this trans organization was out talking about anti-trans, or no, the trans. This was, and I think it's a rumor that they were trying to ban "Natural Woman" by Aretha Franklin to cause an outrage. It's like, but I think it was a parody, right?
Yeah.
So, but then I was like, nobody has that kind of energy to be out there fighting for songs. Like, it's not that serious. And I was like, who's doing this? But it was a parody, but it went viral. It's like,
of course,
we're in a very strange time.